Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am Kathleen Sherman. I am your host. This is my brand new video podcast. I'm so excited. I'm bringing Calleigh Piper on. And
Hi.
this is based off of my book, You're Not Crazy, You're Simply Divine. And it's a guide to help you step into your soul's true purpose. And the reason for the book is so amazing. It's about ascension, about my spontaneous ascension, just awakening, spiritual awakening, and how crazy it was. And it gives you tips and tools on how to get through your own. But what I'm doing is doing a video podcast. These are going to be short and sweet. And I am bringing on, at first, the people I talk about in my book, my mentors, my helpers. And I'm going to try not to cry because it was a wild ride for me. And Calleigh helped me so much. So welcome, Calleigh. I wanted to talk about you. I talk about you actually quite a bit in my book. I give you kudos. I know you probably haven't seen it yet or read it yet, but I just wanted to tell everybody how awesome you are and what we're going to do with these. You're welcome. What we're going to do with these video podcasts is we're going to talk to you about your experiences. Just like I've already talked about my experiences. So talk about your experiences, maybe how you went through things, what you experienced. And in those experiences, maybe talk about some of those and then give some insight into what you would, any knowledge or wisdom that you could give to people. So
wonderful. Yeah. I had a very quick awakening as well. At least for me it was, but that's how I've always done stuff. I've always been, oh, this is what it is. Let's just do this and not mess around. I'm a very to the point person. For those of you guys who know me, I'm sure you know that. So for me, I started in my whole life was out of alignment. Let's just put it that way. My health was out of alignment. My relationships were out of alignment. My emotional being was very out of alignment. And the spirituality was almost zip. So I started actually, I had just got tired of feeling so tired. I was very overweight, very not healthy. And so it literally started with just me eating well and working out. And then everything just blew up. And so at that point, when I started eating well and working up, literally, people think that I've always been this way. And I did see as a child, but I shut it all up because it's not something that I wanted or was ready for at the time. So I literally I'm great at locking things away, just shoved it in a box, shoved it in the corner and didn't look at it. It was like, no, that's not real. No, I've got to work. I've got responsibilities. No, none of that is real. And just shoved it in a corner. Well, as I started to get back into alignment physically, all that I could not hold it off anymore. And by that point, when 2012 shifted, I was already starting to see like shadows for attachments again on people. And we are so good at ignoring things. I'm like, no, that's not real. It's not true. No, must be tired, must be seeing stuff. None of that's true. Well, it is true. And so I just kept pushing it. Well, as I started to bring myself back into alignment, literally the top blew off my world. And I did absolutely think I was crazy. I was like, something, my inner voice kept saying, no, just keep going. We'll give you the answers we need. But let me tell you something. There were a couple of key players in mine too. If they hadn't been there, I'd probably be locked up right now. Just saying. Because it did make me feel like I was crazy. I was working a 40-hour job. And again, started to get my health into alignment. And somebody had come into my life and just been very encouraging to me. He would always say, bring your inside out. Let people see the beautiful that I see in you. Let people see that beautiful. And I didn't really know what he meant. And of course I was, flattered by the attention and whatever. And so this person, I just went to see somebody. I couldn't get answers out of this person. And so I literally just went to see a psychic medium, Crystal Getty now. Back then, I think she was Crystal Jordan, or maybe it was one before that. I don't know, mid medium anyway. And keep in mind, I didn't believe in any of that right now. My sister's like, well, maybe you should go see blah, blah, blah. She's a friend of a friend and she's really good. And I'm like, seriously, a psychic? Are you kidding me? I mean, literally, those are my words to my sister. You want me to go see a psychic over this? Come on. And I ended up going and seeing it, and she blew the top off of stuff for me. Some answers did come through what I wanted, but a whole lot more came after that. About there were literally people waiting on the other side, like, why have you not been listening to us? Why you're seeing all this stuff? You know you're seeing all that stuff. Yes, my guides point fingers and they swear. And oh yeah. And they're like, look, this is your path. This is who you are. Remember who you are, and this is your path. This is what you are supposed to be doing. All this other stuff, this is not important. I know you think your job is important. It's not in the scheme of things. I know you think this person in your life is important. It's not in the scheme of things. This is what's important. This is what you need to be doing. And it was a very intense session. I'm not going to lie. And after that, I went home. I thought a lot about it. Read my notes, what I tried to jot down, because she talks very fast. Yes. And there was so much energy in the room, and I had never had that level of energy before. And it was very overwhelming for me. And when I got home and I reflected on all that, I knew it was true. As much as I tried to push it in the corner, I knew what she said was true. She totally busted me about seeing attachments in front of my sister, because my sister was actually in the session with me. Mm-hmm. I thought I could just stuff that in a corner and nobody would realize what a weirdo I was.
Can you explain attachments really quick? Because a lot of people may not know what those are.
Well, there are lots of different types of attachments. You know that from what you do. Primarily, I would work on spiritual attachments with people. So everybody has an auric field that's a lot like your skin in the physical realm. And it usually stands anywhere about 12 inches off from people, depending on their emotional state and how damaged they are. When we get happier, it gets bigger and fluffier. When we get scared or out of alignment, it gets smaller and cracks and breaks and all kinds of stuff. When you get cracks, breaks, things like that, because of things you're not supposed to be doing to yourself or things you haven't handled in your energy, spiritual attachments will go in and they attach into your auric field. So they can be a lot of different things. People automatically, when I say that, they think ghosts, but actually the things that I've dealt with, a very small percentage of those are people that have passed on and are ghosts. A lot of those are, and I don't want to scare anybody, because they are, when you break it down, all of them are just energy. Just some of them are lower vibrational energy than other things. But I dealt with a lot of demonic attachments on people. I dealt with some elementals, which I think are kind of fun, but they were not fun for the people that were hosting them. Right. Things like that, things that were giving people some really hard times. And I'd been able to see both light and dark since I was a little kid. So, and like I said, I was just really good at stuffing that away. So that's a spiritual attachment. When something is in our auric field that does not belong, that's feeding off of our energy, is there without permission, and using our energy. And creating problems within our auric field because it's not supposed to be there. It's like when somebody gets a tick or something. Is a tick going to hurt you? Well, it can. It's there without your permission. It's feeding off of you. And eventually, maybe it'll just drop off, or maybe it's going to make you really sick. A lot of it depends on your health state at that time. So hopefully that was a decent explanation of spiritual attachments and the amount of time that we have.
That was a great explanation. And I remember when, because you did a session for me, Crystal was my first person who did a reading for me. And before that, for some reason, I was really scared. And then the second time I went back to her, my father had just died. And I talk about this all in my book, which is cool. That's why I was like, I got to bring you on. I'd love to bring Crystal on too. But anyway, I remember, and she told me that I needed you. She's like, I wasn't well, and she goes, you need Calleigh. And I went, okay. And I go, cool. How do I contact her? She gave me your number, and you came to my house and did an amazing reading and told me,
oh, thank you.
And you told me that what I had experienced that I talk about in the book was a demonic attachment. I remember you telling me that, and I was like, holy shit, like, oh my God, crazy. And, but you also told me that I had gotten rid of it myself, and that not many people know how to do that. And I was like, wow, I did. So cool. So you helped me so much. You helped me so immensely with learning about this stuff and not being afraid of it as much, because you're
just going to feed it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you gave me the knowledge, wisdom, and the help. You gave me all the answers I needed to go, okay. Because I remember Crystal had told me I wasn't an intuitive, or she told me I could do what she did. And I'm like, I don't get it. But you helped me narrow that down because I couldn't figure it out. So if you hadn't been around, just like what you were talking about, your mentor, if you hadn't been around, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at, and I wouldn't have gotten so far so fast. And I would call you a mentor because you helped me clear. I remember you helping me clear a family member's house, and I'm like, can you teach me?
Remember that?
Yeah, and I'm like, can you teach me? And you're like, absolutely. So you're so helpful in helping me start my path without fear, because I had tons of fear before that.
And that's so important. You bring up a key point. No matter what we deal with, whether we're talking attachments, whether we're talking emotional garbage, whatever we're talking about, there's two choices. You either choose love or you choose fear. If you choose love, you're going to be in a high vibration. If you choose fear, you're going to be in a low vibration. Neither are wrong. That's just your choice, how you choose to live your life and what your energy is. Attachments are there because we still host fear. Now, we are human. Of course, we're going to have fear. That's the way it is. But because we're here to experience what fear is like as human, and what love is like as a human, and what all these other things in between are, our point is to experience them and learn from them and move on, and don't keep going back to that same pattern over and over and over again. Yes. Definitely some advice for people out there: recognize the patterns. And then if you can't fix it yourself, you don't know how to fix it, reach out to somebody who does. Because then you're going to keep moving forward. And you definitely don't want to be stuck spinning your wheels, because you're just going to do it again in the next life.
What would you say to people? And I remove attachments, you remove attachments, and you do a lot of different things as well. You are a business owner, and I want you to talk about that too. What would you recommend if people, because I have had people who came to me, and I remember one lady who said, you're going to think I'm crazy, but I see demons around people. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, no,
welcome to my world.
You don't understand. Yeah. What do you recommend for people if they're seeing that, if they're seeing those things and have thought they were not real, but now they watch this and they're like, holy crap, maybe that was real.
So what I tell people is, first thing you want to do when somebody comes to me and is like, this is what I'm experiencing. And they do all start with, you're going to think I'm crazy. And I'm like, try me. I'm not going to think you're crazy. Trust me. I've heard it all. Yeah. And I know when people are lying. I'm an empath. Yes. So, I have had a few try and throw me curveballs like this or that. And I'm like, my bullshit meter is going off, my friend. I don't think so. Yes. But for the most part, people are just, they seek somebody out because they do want help. That's 99% of the people that sit before me are people that are just like, I don't know what to do. I just need help. So you think I'm crazy, or you're going to think I'm crazy. Nope, sit down. This is a safe place. Let's just sit down and talk about it and sort it out. So when they do come to me like that, what I tell them first is, whatever you're experiencing, whether you think you're experiencing spirits, poltergeists, demons, whatever, any energy, no matter how you're experiencing it, close your eyes, get out of your head, and feel. Don't worry. People do that all the time with guides. I can't hear my guides. Don't worry about hearing them. Why don't you try to feel them first and see what that energy feels like? Because that, to me, is what sets off your bullshit detector or not. And if you know what an energy feels like, then you know if whatever is talking is on the down low. Like, I have definitely been around people where all kinds of shit will talk to them and tell them all kinds of things. But what do you want to talk to? Do you want to sit and talk to people that are going to badmouth you, or entities that are going to badmouth you? Or do you want to sit with things or people that love you? And that's so my first advice to people is, feel first. Does it make your stomach go? If it does, you probably don't want to talk to it. If you feel like, and feel like this really good, loving energy, then it's probably okay to talk to, So that's my first advice to people is, feel first. Open yourself up, feel first, and then we'll go from there and figure out how it is that you receive your messages, because everybody does differently.
Sure. Thank you so much. And that's so helpful for people because, as a kid, I sensed things, but I don't see them like right in front of my eyes. I sense them. Yeah. Now, I remember being in my room, and I talked about that too in there. Like, I remember being in my room and I actually could see things in the dark. Right, because and then I could sense it. I could feel the energy of it being negative, of not something.
Absolutely,
something just wasn't right, and I could feel it. And it was scary. of course, there goes the timer, watching specific movies and things probably didn't help and things like that. But
you're right.
Yeah. And I remember watching like Poltergeist and stuff like that. And then those pictures would come in my mind, and then there went the fear, and it just exploded.
Exactly.
Made it huge.
That's where it starts from. It starts from feeding a fear. And so you learn to deal with the root cause of whatever your fear is. And then you take back your power, because nothing has permission to be around you or be in you or influencing you unless you give it. I am like a wall on some things. Like spiritually, good luck getting past that. It's not going to happen. Emotionally, I probably could use some work. But truthfully, that's where it stands. It's the choices are simple, or the rules are simple, and they never change. And that's how I try to present it to people. They want me to do all this crazy stuff or give them rows and rows of plans, and I will if you want me to. But really, it comes down to a few simple things. And if you can make those changes and look at yourself, you're going to do fine. You're going to fix it, and you're going to be able to open up your gifts. I mean, Ostara LLC, that's one of my businesses. That's what I exclusively do, is help people identify, open up, and show them how to use their gifts in a way that's going to be going to align with who they are. Yeah. And then, of course, we have Tree of Light, a holistic center. That's Jason R. and I work together on that. He works remotely. I work in person, and we help people fix their emotional stuff, or look at themselves emotionally and get them on the right path again through a variety of methods. Both Jason and I do remove attachments. He works a lot with emotional attachments. So he can be a busy guy at times, because emotional attachments are rich on people. And we also both he does Qigong, he does Reiki as well. I do Reiki, and other things to help get people back in alignment. So.
And you do, and then did you want to talk about any of your other businesses, or how people can get a hold of you if they're interested?
Yes, if people would like to get a hold of me, the easiest way is probably through our website. So that's www.tolholisticcenter.com. If you go through there, you can send a message to us. Both Jason and I will see it. I also work through the Gifted Healing Arts Center with a few other wonderful ladies. So if you go on Facebook, you can just simply type in the Gifted Healing Arts Center. That will bring up our messenger, and you can message me through there. Our phone number is 734-262-6611. That is my personal cell phone. So please, it will go directly to me. Please don't text me at midnight. I would appreciate it if you would not do that.
Yeah.
So those are the easiest ways probably to get a hold of and speak to both Jason and I. I want to tell you that both good and, I know we're short on time here, but both good and things and bad things happen when you awaken. Yes, it's super traumatic. Yes, it's you do think you're crazy, but the minute I surrendered to it, and that is one of the keys, Kathy, when I surrendered to it, when I was like, well, I guess this is what Crystal said, my guides are telling me this is absolutely true. And I knew nothing of guides back then, but I'm like, my bullshit detector is saying this is true. So I was like, all right, guys. All right, if this is what we're going to do, let's do this. I surrender to you. Give me the people, resources, and knowledge I need to help people, since that's what you're telling me, and I'll do the work. Instantly, stuff in a language I didn't recognize downloaded behind my eyes, right in. And I knew everything I needed to know in order to remove attachments, in order to help people. I think we all have experienced times when we're helping people and we tell them something and we're like, shit, where'd that come from? That sounded pretty good. That's our higher self being accessed in order to give them what it is they need. And that's exactly what was being downloaded to me. My higher self stepped in and it's like, all right, let's do this, man. Give me the people, resources, and knowledge, and I will listen to you. And I do most of the time, not all the time, but I try really hard. And that was really one of the biggest key points of saying, okay, I'm not crazy. This is absolutely real. I'm a logical person. I'm going to surrender to it. I know it's true. I know it's good. I know this is my path. If people can do that, that is really the key thing that I try to lead people through. Is you got to surrender. You might not think you're fighting it, but you actually are fighting it.
Sure. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for coming on, for being a mentor for me and so many people, and helping so many people on their path. And like I said, without you, I wouldn't be where I am now. And so I thank you so much. Yeah. So
It's my pleasure.
awesome.
Thank you.
And I want to bring you back on. I want to do this again.
Okay.
Like I said, these are pretty short, but short, sweet, to the point, but we're going to like pick subjects and then maybe come back and do more. So
it would be my pleasure. I would love to.
Thank you so much. Awesome.
All right.
I'm going to go ahead and log off. Thank you, everybody, for following us, and I'll be back. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.